everybody, it's Romania Black, and no big deal. We're just starting volume 23 of Attack on Titan, the season 4 content, finally! When I started reading these volumes 22 weeks ago, I guess it's been 23 if you consider Lost Girls and No Regrets, I intended to get to this point. This is really the reason I wanted to start the manga, but it felt weird starting the manga at season 4 content, so I wanted to go back and reread everything leading up to this to not only review the series because I hadn't watched the anime in a while, to get me reinvigorated in the series going into this final push with the anime, and to see what all the hubbub was about. And I'm really glad that I did. But if I'm being honest, I have wanted to read the manga, if not to get to this part and talk about the season 4 content, because I've heard there's been some things changed, some things moved around, some things left out, and I was like, all right, I want to know what the tea is. And so far, the manga has done an amazing job. I mean, obviously it's the source material with Isayama, but I really liked like volumes 13 and 14, all the extra content that was moved around and shuffled with Levi and all that for season 3. I've been really, really impressed, and I have a lot of comments and a lot of things to get to. So we're going to just go ahead and dive in and talk about everything, because we have a lot of things to talk about before we even get into the manga volume. But we're starting season 4 content. So excited. I really like that the volumes, we were talking about this on the Discord, I think Cart brought it up, that the volumes definitively stop with the seasons. It's not like we don't start volume 4 midway through a volume. That would be so weird. I like that it's a very definitive stop and start, which seems almost by design by Isayama, but narratively it makes a lot of sense, right? So I have a lot of comments. Dasi had noted in the Discord that there was an interview talking about the death of Erwin, who lived for his dream. And I haven't read this all the way through, so I'm going to pull it up here. There were screenshots that Daki shared. I feel like it's a good time to bring it up because Erwin has sadly passed, and now we're probably not going to be bringing him up unless Levi does for a long time, so might as well touch base on it now. So after losing his friend within an equal relationship, Levi will. I love that they have to frame it like within an equal relationship, being like, they were like equals. They were like partners. They were like, like fill in the blank. So the question is, Erwin losing his life at the Battle of Shiganshina, that was quite a shocking development. To have, and Isayama says, to have Erwin perish during that point was pre-planned. I always wanted to portray Levi and Erwin as having an equal relationship. Erwin bears an innocent motivation to seek the truth and a need for atonement, since his actions had led to his father's death. He joined the Survey Corps due to these two reasons. Then little by little, he ended up in the position of leading this group while he himself wavered between the roles of a child who chased his dream and an adult who carried responsibilities. In order to affirm his self-identity, he fabricated the false ambition of fighting for humanity's future and continued to fool himself. So I like this idea of he's just always wanted to chase this dream, but he's also had to grow up being like, well, you can't just chase this dream in this world. You have to have something like on the side to get you through that. So it's kind of like the side hustle was the Survey Corps, but at the heart of it was him trying to get this dream. That's really what it comes down to. So the next question is, a man viewed as someone who abandoned his humanity actually never abandoned his own dream and purpose for living. It's truly astonishing. Isayama says the same is for Levi. The reason Levi always operates alongside Erwin is because he interpreted Erwin's for humanity's future as an altruistic intention that Levi never considered himself. So Levi ends up adopting it as his own life mission. Hence, Levi is also requested for Erwin to become a man who is loyal to the mission and can make composed decisions. When he discovers that Erwin actually has a selfish goal like his dream, it can be said that he felt betrayed. However, he also recognizes that this person whom he cannot hope to surpass actually has an innocent, childlike side that chases dreams. I like that idea that you know, they say don't meet your heroes, but I feel like that Levi had Erwin on a pedestal and held him to a high regard, and then during the battle back at Shiganshina, he was like, oh wait, you're still wanting to go to the basement after all this has happened? And yeah, it kind of felt like a betrayal, but then he's like, no, that's just human. That's just how it goes. And it's kind of emphasized, I think, later, because of Levi's, what does it say here? Go right there. Because of Levi's single statement, Erwin was able to abandon his dream for the future. The question is, because he understood that this great man is actually just like the rest of humanity, Levi told him, abandon your dream and go to hell. That's such a cruel choice. And Isayama says, Our conversation now reminds me of the situation back then. When I drew that scene, what I considered was the moment humans reveal their truest nature is when they've been pushed to the brink of death. For Erwin, this happened when the Beast Titan drove him to the verge at Shiganshina and his true self materialized severely. During that moment, what he displayed to us was that wavering between fulfilling his dream through the basement and the responsibility of fighting the Beast Titan to the death. Seeing Erwin in this state, Levi felt as if he were urged on by Erwin, quote, "I hope you tell me to abandon my dream and go to hell." He comprehended Erwin's desire at the time. In this sense, it's exactly because of Levi's statement that Erwin was able to finally abandon his dream and transform into the adult who prioritizes responsibility. So because of Levi, Levi's like, I'm going to help you do what you can't do and tell you to make the selfless decision rather than the selfish decision. Yep. So then the next question is, Levi accepted Erwin's sacrifice for humanity and chose his fate of death. But right before his passing, what Erwin recalled was his time with his father in the classroom where his dream supposedly took seed. For Erwin, that was a happy memory, right? Isayama says, how should I put this? The feeling is that he died without knowing the answer himself. But even maintaining the state of not knowing, he was seemingly Erwin's choice. With that said, we can't say that he never regretted this. Perhaps he had felt that at some point. Truly, during the moment, I illustrated the panels while thinking, everyone is a slave to something. Perhaps Erwin was enslaved by his dream. And as long as he lives, he cannot find freedom from it. Only in death is there liberation. For Erwin, Levi abandoning his rescue is also using death to release Erwin from his shackles. That's a really sad and kind of twisted and disturbing way to put it, that we're all a slave to something, and death is the only freedom from it, which I think Zeke is going to elaborate on when we get into that portion of the manga. But I think that's interesting that he kind of just outright says it here. And then the question is, does Levi understand Erwin's mindset? Isayama, yes. The scene where Levi decided Erwin's fate, he was influenced by his interactions with Kinney. Levi still had the experience of being separated from Kinney during childhood. He was constantly troubled by the thought of Kinney left behind because I couldn't fulfill his expectations. So he thought that Kinney was leaving him because he wasn't good enough. When the uprising occurred within the walls and he confronted Kinney again as an enemy, Levi sought to meet what couldn't be satisfied previously. In the end, the underground caverns collapsed and caused grave injuries to Kinney. But Kinney didn't save himself by utilizing the serum. Instead, he entrusted it to Levi before dying. From Levi's perspective, the Kinney who always who was always a slave by being selfish, actually did something selfless in his final moments. That shocked him immensely. Because of that experience, Levi didn't revive Erwin. He accepted Erwin as a human and chose to let him die. Speaking of which, I'm remembering something. People tend to say true happiness is when you don't fulfill your dream. This indicates that for a person, continuing the pursuit of a dream, even during the last seconds, is the best kind of life. I kept thinking about this notion as I drew Erwin's final moments. Yeah, it's that idea that if he had kept Erwin alive, he wouldn't have had the dream anymore. And then what would he have done? He wouldn't have had any reason to keep going. And then it could have corrupted him and made him an awful person because he didn't have that dream as ambition. Question, there really is the idea of only when you have the impossible dreams can you keep striving forward for them. However, the consequence of that choice was that Levi lost the irreplaceable existence that was Erwin. From then on, where would Levi find his purpose for fighting? Isayama says he's currently dangling in the air rather aimlessly. Having stayed with Erwin until his end, he also felt as if he fulfilled his role. Of course, I think he still has the goal of killing the Beast Titan. After Erwin's death, he'll probably let Armin fill in those missing parts in the Survey Corps. In Volume 18, as everyone searched for Reiner within the wall crevices, I had hoped to juxtaposition Erwin and Armin as the past and the future as I drew. Erwin perished without fulfilling his dream, while Armin satisfied his. From here on out, Armin is forced to confront the realities ahead. So yeah, that's interesting. You have Erwin, who didn't get to his dream, but didn't really have any ambition beyond it. So that's one of the reasons I think Levi chose to let him die. And then you have Armin, who did fulfill his dream. So you would think, well, now he's in the same boat as Erwin. But Armin did have not just seeing the ocean as part of his dream, but the idea of impossible dreams that you keep striving forward, like seeing the deserts of ice, seeing the lakes and the fiery lake, seeing the things that he probably will never see, but they're dreams that he can pursue, right? So I love that idea of Isayama saying, this is why we killed Erwin, and this is why we've kept Armin alive, so it thematically lines up with everything. That's really great. I love that, Dossie. That's so good. I love the idea of Isayama drawing Erwin and Armin together in a moment. That's great. And then, let me get this right. The weird pianist, why did that not sink in? The weird pianist shared this image, which is basically, it's basically an image of Levi from volume 20 or 21. And then it's where he was telling the Beast Titan that he swore that he would kill him for Erwin. And you can see there's like a little heart drawn on his cheek with the ink where the blood is. It looks very intentional. I'm not saying it's really in heart, but it looks like a heart. It looks like a little heart line that Isayama stuck in there. Look, I'm just saying maybe Erwin and Levi were meant to be and they're soulmates and now they're separated forever. Leave me alone. But I really like that. So thank you, Dossie. Thanks, you weird pianist. Sorry, I forgot your username for a second. My brain fried from all the errory. But anyway, we have plenty more comments. This is going to be a long intro. Sorry. El Ribeiro, 97, talked about the literary structure of a chiasm. Yes, I'm so glad. I'm probably saying it wrong because my Midwest gutter possum ditch dialect messes up many words of how I was raised. But a chiasm, it is a literary structure of parallelism. And I actually like it. It's kind of like when you find the median of something. I can't believe I'm relating math to English because I'm not a math person. But it's where you find the median of something. It's literally a literary structure where you start out paralleling the first part with the last part, the second to last part with the second part, the third to last part with the third part. And you keep going till you get to the center. And that's what's called the key. It is a literary structure. It's very cool. I like it. It's like the key is like your median. Center there, right? And so in Attack on Titan, technically in the manga, the median or the key is the chapter called Friends. I'm like, So the chapter called Friends is the middle part of the series, which is so important and so deliberate. As soon as Liberio said this, I was like, there is no way this was not designed by Isayama. It's too genius. It's too perfect. Because in the chapter around Friends, we have the miracle that occurs. The idea of sitting down and talking, with the miracle being that you gain understanding and become friends. It's like the central theme to the entire story. It's the whole point. Is like violence is a stupid cycle, and instead of just trying to like keep the cycle going or break the wheel, why don't y'all just sit down and talk and get to understand each other and come to a compromise, which is what ends up happening Night of the End. So yeah, I freaking love that. I thought that was an amazing thing to point out. Thank you, El Ribeiro. I'm very, very happy about that. Alexander Q points out the process of shuffling around. The core of Reiner, did it affect his memory? When he shuffled around his consciousness through his core, did it affect his memory? That could be. We don't know for sure. And then CW had a big comment about another interview with Isayama that I went back and looked. It was an interview that took place at the end of season 3 and the end of when the manga ended for season 3. So it's not anything spoiling what we're about to read. But Isayama made the sound effect of Bertolt's head being eaten by the Titan version of Armin into a pun. Because dark humor. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And in the interview, there was a really cool part about Flock that was mentioned. In the interview, it said Flock was not planned, but ended up becoming a fleshed out character. He grew throughout the series, offering an opposing view, because otherwise, Isayama says, the story might have gotten a little bit unpleasant with how nobody was challenging the main trio. So Flock showing up during the thing with Historia during the coronation was a means to challenge our original trio with the representation of somebody that's not a Titan being a threat. Flock represents the understanding of oneself only when an opposing view is in front of you. And it's the idea of him becoming a spokesperson, quote unquote, for the reader. I like that because a lot of people have said that Flock represents like the mass mentality of something, or a lot of mass audiences, what they think about a situation. Flock kind of represents it, which becomes dangerous when he becomes a Jaegerist and leads the Jaegerists. It's kind of like that mob mentality and him being at the forefront of it. It's interesting. And then Eren, according to Isayama, was a, quote, slave to the story. After seeing the ocean, he now pulls the story along instead. And his inner psychology has yet to be revealed, which I'm sure we're going to touch back on in this. But the problem of being a slave is a theme from now on. And that kind of is addressed with the death of Erwin as well, the problem of being a slave. The thing about it is that the series constantly calls into question, what does it mean to be a slave to something? Is that a bad thing? Is it a good thing? What do we do with it? And what is the price to be free from that? And so that's going to be like a constant comment throughout the rest of this series, right? Christopher Peterson notes that Eren doesn't or can't open the book without Mikasa's hand in the volume 21. And it's an idea of like completing his like transition, right? It's the idea of that Eren doesn't want to open the book by himself, and then Mikasa has to like help him do it, which is interesting. It's kind of opposite of Erwin and Levi. Erwin and Levi being that we need to be a slave to something, perhaps. And then Levi's decision to let Erwin leave. I don't know. I had notes written on here. I can't quite make out what I was meaning by them. But I do think it's interesting how, I know what I was saying. The idea is that Mikasa, what's interesting, Mikasa and Levi are Ackermans. And in this moment, Eren needs Mikasa to help him go forward in his dream. Otherwise, he can't do it. And the funny thing is, Mikasa helps him move forward with his dream to become free. And on the polar opposite end of the spectrum, Levi, another Ackerman, effectively seals the doors on Erwin's dream. So you have two Ackermans. One helps someone accomplish towards their dream. One shuts it away. It's fun stuff, right? Fun stuff. And then CW talks about the memories of Grisha. Could they be what Kruger... We talked about whose memories were Kruger seeing. We all think, for the most part, that it's Eren passing those memories through the Attack Titan down to Grisha and down to Kruger. But could it be that they just came from Grisha? When Grisha told Eren back in the day that you have to do this to save Mikasa and Armin, could they just have been from Grisha and that was it? Who knows? And then finally, Isabel talks, I Swallow Apple Seeds 927 talks about Kodansha, the manga publishing company, was the one that marketed From Here On Out as being the final season. And that's a good part. I haven't gotten through all the comments. As you can see, there were a lot, and we are already like nearly 20 minutes into this intro, but I still have some more comments that I'll be doing before I get to volume 24 and talking about it. But with that being said, I do think it's interesting that Kodansha marketed this as the final season when we're on volume 23 and there's 34 volumes? So you had 11 volumes to get through in one final season? What is this? Haikyuu movies? Let's be real. So yeah, I definitely think they can maybe got the cart tightened ahead of the horse, if that makes sense. I was like, But yeah, I'm really excited to dive into volume 23. I have been told that the animation, the illustration, all of Isayama's work is great. It's been amazing so far. I've commented that volumes 20, 21, and 22, the artwork has been incredible, and I know it's only going to get better from here on in, so I'm really, really excited. But I wore my shirt that I wore for the Warriors reaction tonight because I thought that seemed appropriate. We're about to go see the Warriors again. I cannot wait. So let's not waste any more time. My dogs are ready. I am too. So we're going to start Attack on Titan volume 23, finally. And we're going to do that here in 3, 2, 1, and let's go. Man, I really like this cover. It's great because it's not what you expect. You just saw Eren. And what's great is because volume 22 has Eren, Armin, and Mikasa pointing across the ocean one direction. Then you go to the other side and you see Reiner and them looking right back at them, right? Only it's sunset. It's the symbolism. I love it. I love it. I also like that you have Zeke facing the opposite way of all of them. You have Reiner in the forefront looking forward. He has the gun. Don't like that. You have that. You have Gabby. You have Falco. Falco and his brother looking very much like the Grices that Grisha was with on the wall. I always forget the kids' names that are with Gabby and Falco, but we're going to go back to them. And then you have the Cart Titan. You have the Jaw Titan. And then Zeke is facing the opposite way. So I like that kind of subtle symbolism and foreshadowing that Zeke is going to kind of betray all of them and do his own thing. I like it. I like it. I like it a lot. And Reiner. Reiner. From here on in, I love that Isayama's like, he's one of my favorite characters, and he's gonna make him suffer. So the other side of the ocean, see, connecting that title, Marley's Soldiers, the Midnight Train, and the Boy Inside the Walls. So man, we're only gonna get the first 2 episodes. Interesting. I can see why this was a very long set of volumes left over. Wow, okay. Titans versus Titans. So Titans after her death. Ymir, the ancestor, split her soul into 9 Titans after her death, creating the Eldian Empire. I hope we get more with that, because the anime doesn't quite get us a lot into why 9. The Founding Titan, the Colossus Titan, the Attack Titan, the Female Titan, the Beast Titan, the Armored Titan, and we have 3 that have yet to be named. Yep, the Founding Titan can rule over and control all the other Titans. Each of the 9 Titans has a name, and the name of the one who fought for freedom is the Attack Titan. All right. And that's all you get. You don't get a character spread. Man, right from the start. Falco and that bird, the bird of fate, right from the start. Oh man. From here on in, I just imagine manga readers being like, wait, what are we doing? What's going on? What are we doing? Hey, you. It's dangerous out here. The other side of the ocean. Wow. If you were reading the manga for Attack on Titan and you started with this double spread, you'd be like, wait, where are we? What's going on? What's happening? Amazing. Go fly somewhere far away. Falco. You got wings, so use them. Oh man, and his brother. Why are you dressed that way? Oh my God, yep. And then he goes, wow. Oh, nice. Yes, I love that shot of him sliding down with Falco on his shoulders. Yes, that's so good, Isayama. And then Colt. Yep, how's Colt? There we go. Man, it's been so long since I've watched season 4. This feels so weird. Okay. We can't you dig any further. All right, Eldian. I like the little hints that Isayama's giving us of where we're at and what the situation is. Magath, yes. Oh my God. Must have hit his head. Wow. Just the way it's drawn is so interesting. Yep, we've been at war for 4 years. Do you remember? Uh-huh. And then I love that Gabby's like, man, Gabby looks a lot like Eren. Look at that. Wow, the manga, Isayama did not shy away from making her look exactly like Eren. The parallels, y'all. The parallels. This war's consumed our last 4 years. It's finally coming to an end. All we have to do is capture Fort Slava. Wow, and then, yep, the Falcon and everything. Isn't that crazy? And it's all within walls. Yep, Reiner's gonna be like, I hate walls. So, oh my God, this is crazy. It's so weird going from reading 22 volumes of a series with very limited technology that's slowly been advancing to suddenly seeing all of these things, right? Oh, Zofia, that's her name. Zofia, oh my God. And then Udo, that's the names. It's all, I feel like Celine Dion is going to bust through any second and tell me it's all coming back to me now. Udo and Zofia. My mind had blocked them out because of the pain. Yep. And then Falco. Which one of us is going to be the next warrior? It's just, and Falco doesn't look happy about it, of course, but Zofia does. It's so weird because you could easily see how they could have been. Like, you could see Gabby being the armor titan. You could see Zofia being the female titan. You could see Udo being the Colossus titan. You could see Falco becoming the jaw titan. Like, you could see all of these things taking shape, or in Colt becoming the beast titan. Like, you could see the next generation planned out, and it just the cycle continuing, but then it doesn't. The heir to the armored titan. Who's going to be chosen? Now, Reiner's not been, he's still got, years left like Eren, right? I mean, it's been 4 years, but he's still got some time left. It's just determining who's going to take his place, right? Well, who could it be? Don't get cocky, Gabby. It's not about the grades. And then I'm going to slaughter all the devils on the island who caused us so much suffering. Every last one. Just like Eren. Wow. I'll win that fight and prove it to the whole world. The only Eldians left alive are good Eldians. I won't lose. I don't know why people hate Gabby. She's just Eren. She's literally Eren. She's exactly talking about freeing people, about the only people that's going to be left are the good people. She is literally Eren when he was that age. Like, she even looks like him, right? I mean, when we get to the part with Sasha, then we'll talk. But yeah, she's like, isn't this cool, huh? She's basically just like a confident version of Eren. Like, she's Eren without the internal trauma, right? Oh my God. Let's let Jaw and Cartman loose here. Oh my God. Galliard and Peak. The whole thing of Cartman, instead of saying Cart and then saying Galliard and Peak, I just love Isayama the whole time he's writing going, they're not gonna know she has boobs. Amazing. Amazing. And then, yep, the guns, the anti-Titan artillery. Yep. Wow, Colt is drawn really well in this. I really like the way Colt is drawn. And he almost looks kind of like a young Zeke. So it's obviously by design. We would lose the power of the Titans and a warrior if they hit their neck. And there's no guarantee we'll be able to regain the power of the Titan because it could go overseas, right? Our 9-year-long plan to regain the founder will come to an end and the tables will be turned on us. Just as when we lost the Colossus and the female Titan. Yeah, so okay, it's been 9 years total since Shiganshina the first time. And so, yeah, the 5 years till Shiganshina when Volume 22 ended, and then 4 years after that. So Eren only has 4 years left. He has 4 years left after this, because there's 13 total, right? He has 4 years left, and Armin has 8. Yep, 8. Okay. And to prepare the warrior unit. Okay, there's 800 Eldians here. And the cadets, he's like, if you inherit the beast, you ought to get out there and show us you're prepared to be a leader. I like that Magath is in the forefront right from the beginning, kind of just being right there with them. It's interesting. Oh my God, look at Gabby's face. Look at her little heart eyes. Look at her anime, like, rounded eyes. Oh my God, she just looks so, like, pixie-like. Oh my God, let me do it, please. Oh my God, I'm super cute too. And if I succeed, you won't lose the 800-person unit. Oh my God, and you can tell Magath doesn't want to let her go out, which is a nice little subtle foreshadowing. But, oh God, her face. That's Isayama. Isayama drawing cute things is weird. It's weird to see Isayama draw cute things. Then you'll just lose one promising candidate and 7 hand grenades. Girl. And they're like, fine. And then Falco being like, don't, Gabby. You can tell already that Falco likes her. Like, you can tell her right off the bat that he likes her. Like, there's no question, right? And he's just like I like from the get-go. And his face there when she's, like, disrobing. Like, you could just tell he's like, poor Falco. Let me take my armband off just for now. And then she goes, carrying it behind her so they can't see. Oh. She could be an Eldian. Something about her looks strange. And that face she makes to Falco when she runs off is just like Eren. Oh my God. She's a much better actress than Eren at that age, I'll say. Why would she go this far? And he couldn't do it. He couldn't shoot her. And then that's when she took it, and that was her chance. Wow. Yep. Girl's got a softball throwing arm. And then her running back. God, Isayama, the artwork is really good. I love that shot of her running away. Wow. And that's when, oh my God, look at her face. It's like, have you ever imagined Eren as a little girl? Well, now you can, thanks to Gabby. Oh my God. And then that's the Jaw Titan. Oh, look at that double spread. Oh my god. Porco. Damn. That is... I feel bad for Ymir already. I feel bad for Ymir already. Galliard. Mm-hmm. And then there they come. Okay. And then, yeah, all of the Eldians that were drugged to turn into the Titans there. Mm-hmm. And then Zeke. Zeke will be our spear, and Reiner will be our shield. Mm-hmm. Like they don't say sword. I feel like Eren is a sword more than a spear. Mm-hmm. So then, yep, they all go there, and then, wow, him ripping up the railroads. God, Isayama. And there's the cart titan, and would you look at that? Their mouth looks a little more elongated. They look more like the cart titan in the anime. Dang, the line work is so clean. Like, it's still distinctly Isayama. You can see, like, the designs of the people, but the line work, especially on the big pan-out wide shots, is so crisp. It's just so good. Oh, my God. And that's when he stops the bleeding. He says, "Don't touch me, you'll corrupt me, devils." As she puts back on the armband. And then, yeah, there's that part where that guy, like, just laughs about it. Interesting that guy just laughs about it. I feel like in the anime he says more in that moment. And then it started. Oh, my God. Isayama drawing Gabby's eyes so big. It's crazy. And then them parachuting. Wow, and there's no sound bubbles, nothing. Ooh. Ooh, damn. Yep. Yep. And Reiner with the knife. And Zeke. Mm-hmm. It's so sad to see Reiner. Like, he's not that old. Like, they were, what, 15 or 16? And now they're, like, 20. They're, like, the oldest 20-year-olds in existence. And then the scream. Yep. Oh, my God. And they all know. That's so terrifying. Right? Oh, my God. Gah. Yep. And then there they all are, just crashing down on everything. Just like a bunch of bombs. The idea of the Titans as bombs shaped like people is so disturbing. It's just, oh. And that they keep going after that. Oh, my God. Definitely showing us, you know, because inside the wall, it's just one or two rogue Titans that have been fighting us this entire time. But here we see how they can be weaponized. And the last 1,800 years of how Eldia fought battles suddenly makes sense. It's suddenly very creepy and has a lot more weight to it. And there truly are devils. Our Marleyan ancestors were eaten up that way by you Eldians. Like, just instilling that guilt. Instilling that guilt into them to make them submissive. Oof. Oof. I love Reiner's line, "I've had enough of walls already." And then he thinks back, wow. And you see Eren and Connie and Sasha and Bertolt with him. Oh my God, Reiner. It's just crazy seeing how much he's grown. And then there he is, Reiner, be careful. Which you should say that, Gabby, because Reiner tends to get hurt a lot from here on in. Yeah, the shells and everything. And then, you sons of whores. And then Galliard coming in. Wow, just like the flailing of the windmill, everything. It just, God, this is really well done. And then Zeke, our defeat caused this war, Reiner. Isn't war a terrible thing? That line from Zeke always gets me, especially knowing, like, his end goal and everything. Oh, my God. Yep, and then grabbing the shells and firing at the ships. Yep. God. Uh-huh. Oh. Oh, and that's when they fire back and Reiner steps in the way so that Zeke isn't hurt. Oh. With the annihilation of their fleet, the Mid-East Allied forces signed a peace treaty with Marley. And after 4 long years, the war ended with Marley standing victorious. Yet they now knew that the age where all were ruled by the power of the Titans were coming to an end. Marley realized it needed to acquire the power of the founding titan as soon as possible. But would that really have helped in the end? I guess that's for the rumbling, but we spent 4 years embroiled in a war over the peninsula's autonomy. But then the enemy battleships of our two main battle titans ended up in sudden disgraceful brawl. Okay. And then Zeke. The only reason you won was because of Reiner, basically. Oh yeah, this guy. Like going back to this war panel afterwards. Extolling the Mideast Allied forces. Would you call this a victory? The moment humanity surpasses the power of the Titans. The majority of this war was fought through naval engagements, leaving no place for our Titan forces to intervene. That's a very good thing, that they're like, none of our Titans can really swim. Can't really do much on the naval front. We're kind of just a land-based attack force, so we don't really have a big navy. Yep, we're kind of outdated on that. So that's why we're in the current situation. The fundamental issue is something else. The power of the Titans has made us complacent, and our chickens have come home to roost. And so it shows them on the map there, right? Like Paradis, the little island off of there. While we were putting our faith in the power of the Titans and pursuing our colonial policies, other countries who could never depend on the Titans developed weapons to oppose them. And this is our situation. They should remain unrivaled in ground engagements for the time being. But if aircraft development continues at this pace, bombs hundreds of kilograms in size will rain down on us someday. When that day comes, the skies will be the main stage in which wars are fought, and Titans, the devils who rule the earth, will only be able to look up and watch. We don't have any Titans with wings, do we? Can Falco fly? I forgot about that. Can Falco fly? I don't think he can, but I think that was the hope, right? That he'd become Birdman. But no, we don't have any Titans with wings. Possibly a good thing. And the funny thing about that is you don't have any Titans with wings because then you'd be free. And the Titans are not free. That's the whole point. They're shackled. Ymir is shackled to the earth through the Titans. She's not free. She doesn't have the wings of freedom. So that's why none of the Titans fly. It's like, yep. I also like here that McGath is trying to get to the point of saying we need to kind of rethink our whole using Titans and the warrior thing anymore. We were Marley, a nation of heroes who defeated the Eldian devils, but now look what we've become. And that's when Zeke the Wonder Boy says, now more than ever is the time for us to resume the Paradis Island operation and retake the founding Titan. And then McGath's like, did you listen to a word I just said? We don't need that. He's like, Marley has to focus his effort on developing conventional weapons. But does that mean we plan to defer meekly to enemy nations until we reach an adequate level of scientific process? What we need is to fill the void a reorganization will create. And what that calls for is a headline in every newspaper as soon as possible saying that Marley has occupied Paradis and has the power of all the Titans. And that's when he says, you have less than a year left in your term. He's like, I'm anxious about whether Colt can inherit the powers of my beast Titan. And I like Colt's like, wait, what? I like that Zeke is like, well, I don't know. So Zeke this whole time, I mean, it's genius because Zeke's strategy is, hey, we need to kill all the Eldians. I need to, annihilate my people. We need to get this done now because before you guys get any crazy ideas. And so I guess it's always threw me off about Zeke's plan is that Zeke wants to basically euthanize, like cause euthanasia throughout the entirety of his people, like sterilize everybody. But that doesn't necessarily save them. That just means they're stuck there to be used by Marley however they want to until they die. Like, Zeke, you nihilist. I want to use the last year of your life to get revenge for what happened, yes. That detestable prodigy Grisha Yeager is me, his former son. The boy wonder. Selling out your own parents as a child. I'll take your advice and raise it to a point of discussion during our party talks. So yeah, I like that Zeke lies, saying he's not sure Colt can inherit the Beast Titan yet, which is a lie. He just doesn't want Colt to eat him yet until he can, do this thing with Eren and get the ball rolling. Which at this point we know later on the ball was already rolling. He just needed to meet up with Eren to solidify it. And then Colt, meanwhile, is like an Eldian having his opinion heard by the Marleyan general. And Colt's like, I couldn't replace you. You're special, Mr. Zeke. And so they can even move at night as long as the moon is out. No other Beast Titan in history could do that. It reminds me of the legends of the Founding Titan, which is why he can do it as the Beast Titan, because he's of royal blood. That's the only reason it works in that case. So interesting. It's not as if you have royal blood in your veins and Zeke's like, nope, no chance. No chance. Oh my God, who knows? The Titan Society seems to be out of ideas too. We'll never know until the day I die. What's interesting is that even whatever happens in the rest of this series, Zeke is potentially going to die within the year. So even if we stop Eren from the rumbling, what does that do with Zeke? Is Zeke gonna die? Is he gonna live out the rest of his days until he passes? I don't know. You'll be inheriting my memories. You just might find out about my secret. Oh yeah, he will. Yeah, if he had, right? But that doesn't happen. It's like about the way I wipe my ass. Oh my God. And then Magath joins them. And then Magath shows up to smoke with them. Even though Magath makes him like come to attention, the fact that he smoked with them was also foreshadowing that he kind of was okay being on similar terms with them. It's interesting. All right. I've watched you for 20 years now. You're enigmatic as ever. I was like, he's a lot like Grisha. He knows how to play the part, right? He very much knows. I just have a year left. He's like, 3 years and on a single fleet we've sent to Paradis has come back. In 3 years, 32 ships have disappeared. He's like, well, they possess 4 titans, the founding, Colossus, female, and the attack. It's likely the founding attack titans dwell both inside of Eren Yeager, but the Colossus and the female origins are still unknown. And I like that he puts Bertolt there because he doesn't know that Armin's ate him. If both had died, then babies with their power should have been born, but no children have been discovered here on the continent. I'm like, how would they know, though? I guess that's weird. How do they know if a baby inherits the Colossus Titan? Like, does it just happen? Is there, like, a sign? The 4 Titans are being used on the island, possibly. Are they passing down their Titans? I'm saying it's a possibility. Okay, this all started 22 years ago when the Owl, a surviving member of the Revolutionary Army, snuck the attack Titan and Grisha onto the island. And now the glowing embers they've scattered seem to have set the island ablaze. Okay, and then Zeke is telling them all what's happened. Yep, it's hard to believe a single Titan could do that. There must have been 2 Titans, including Eren Yeager, blocking the way. And we see that it's Armin and Eren. God, that the image! You can see Armin's already gotten out of the Colossus because it's already steaming. The idea of Armin and Eren facing each other like that is crazy. Crazy. He's like, Titans are not the only threat. They have a force of flying freaks who wear strange contraptions and arm themselves with swords and bombs. Oh my God, that's a great description. Yes, weapons designed for killing Titans. I underestimated those weapons. They possess a bloodline once thought to exist only in legends told by the royal family, the Ackerman clan. Byproducts of Titan science. Interesting. Byproducts of Titan science. I like that's how they're referred to as. Like so they're not Titans, but they have, I want to know more, Isayama. You can't say byproducts of Titan science and not explain what that bloodline means. Like, were they infused with the blood of Titans, but they're not Titan shifters themselves? You need to explain. And then Zeke's like, I never want to meet them again. Oh my God. And then meanwhile, Reiner's like, yep, I didn't want to meet him again either. And there's Porco. Yeah. Galliard. It's weird calling him Galliard. I owe you one. No, you don't. Okay. And then my brother would have never protected you before getting eaten by a random Titan. I like that Reiner asks if he could see Marcel's memories. I haven't gotten to see you run off and abandon him yet, unfortunately. Oh my god. I could understand a bit about my predecessor named a pathetic woman given a grand name. Oh, I hate that. She volunteered to give back Marcel's jaws, didn't she? I hate that. Seeing Ymir look so sad there is heartbreaking, and that she volunteered to give them back. And the weird thing is they had the same like little ritual thing that Rod Reese had in the basement of or below the chapel. And then he's like, you just got rescued by one person after the next, didn't you? And he's like, yep, sure did. I saw through her memories. What was with you? You're acting like some strong, reliable figure. You were trying to imitate Marcel. Puck! You shouldn't be bullying someone. And then Peak. Oh, look how beautiful she is. She's gorgeous. Love her. Beautiful. What a deity. Love her. Oh my god. It's been 2 months since I returned to being a human. I forgot how to walk on legs. This happens every time. She's so pretty. I love how unique her face looks. Like, her eyes are just a little separated, but she's so pretty. I love her hair and everything. Oh my god. Yes, please. Oh, I'm tired. It's like I haven't seen you in forever. We were together the whole time on the battlefield. You'll be able to rest for a while. I hope so. I was shipping Porco and Peak so hard during this entire part here. They just made Reiner leave so they could have their ways. And then after Porco died, I was like, well, how about Jean? The cart and the horse. All right. If Titans end up being useless in war, what's going to happen to the warrior unit? The sea is salty because he used to pee in it all the time. Oh my god. All right. And then all those people coming back. Transporting enemy soldiers to be attacked by pure Titans. Oh wait, they're transporting back to their country. Right. Interesting. The people of the world let us kill subjects of Ymir. And then Udo kicks it. He said, don't hit town property. Oh, and then with Reiner. Oh my god, the head pats. The head pats. And then he like doesn't give Falco the head pat. Falco's just like, hello. But oh my gosh. Okay. We're going to go back to headquarters in Liberio. Let's walk around the town. And that's it. Yeah, and that's it. And he sees Gabby as Marcel. He sees Gabby as the Jaw Titan. Gabby as the one that's the leader, like Marcel. And he sees Falco. Oh my god. So he sees Falco as Porco. And then Sophia as Annie. And Udo as Bertolt. Wow. And then there's just him. Oh, that shot. Oh, ho, 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 ho. Oh my god. Wait. Oh, it's him as a kid. You aren't old enough to be going to that store. There's Eren! There he is! Look! You see him with the little armband in his hair! I was waiting for him to be atop the roof, but no, he's just walking behind them creepily. Ah! Yay! Oh, there he is! It's gonna be like, where's Waldo? Where's Eren? I can see why they put him on the rooftop now, though, because honestly, he's got the armband on and everything, but like, if you saw him from a distance, I think it would have been too obvious, right? But no, that's, yes, all right, yay, okay, good deal, good deal. And then Colt's drunk, talking about Gabby the goddess, oh my god. And then he's just sitting there just having just getting everybody riled up. He's like, give them this one night. I like that Zeke is sitting there with his like whiskey there. It looks like him and McGath shared a drink. And of course, Gabby, or Peak and Porco. The fact that she calls him Pock, I'm like, oh no, they were a thing. They were a thing. Oh my god, Gabby. And she just looks so excited. She's literally like Eren. Yeah, oh my god. Oh, and them all's cheering her name. You only have 2 years left in your term. Oh, that's right, because he was a Titan before Eren. That's right. Yeah, he's only got 2 years left. So Zeke has 1 year and Reiner has 2. The girl who idolizes you over there ends up inheriting the armor. Will live to be 27 if an artillery shell doesn't take her down first. Oh. And then Reiner getting mad, saying, "What did you just say? Wow." And then him getting super mad. Oh my God. And Reiner, because you know Reiner doesn't like it either. He hates the idea of his cousin like being like that, but then he has to repress it. Oh my God. Colt won't just have the right to inherit stripped from him. You'll become bombs dropped down the next people. Oh. I hate that Reiner makes Falco say all those things. But then he says, "Do you want to inherit the armor Titan?" And he says, "I will inherit it." That's right. The only way you'll be able to protect Gabby is if you can surpass her. You're going to rescue Gabby from the dark, dark future we face. It's so weird because it's kind of like, it's keeping the cycle going, right? That Eren's trying to break. But it's doing kind of like almost... It's sort of like what Grisha asked Zeke to do, except Grisha was asking Zeke to become the Beast Titan to like shoulder all of the revolutionaries like on his shoulders, and Reiner's just specifically wanting Falco to do this for Gabby. Like that's for one person. Man, and he's like, "We made it back alive, our beloved hometown." Yep. Man, the anime adapted this so well. I love this. Her jumping out and everything. And they're back at their hometown. Liberio. There we go. Oh my God. The boy inside the walls. After hearing it for so many years and seeing it for so many chapters and episodes, what the hometown looked like, here it was. And Colt's drunk. Yep, hungover. You lightweight. Who let you have liquor, Colt? I like that Falco's like, "Wait, you were drinking the whole time?" Okay. And then Zeke and all them, everybody getting off the train. Deputy Chief Braun. 4 years ago, he took full responsibility for the failed Paradis Island operation and nearly had the armor taken from him. But he proved his allegiance to Marley by risking his life in one successful battle after the other. Now no one calls him to be stripped for the armor. He's always shown more loyalty to Marley than anyone else. That's who he is. It's so interesting because it's like Reiner having to prove himself over and over again, which is kind of paralleling Eren sort of doing the same, because I feel like Eren, but it's different. You know, Paradis always put Eren up on a pedestal being like, "You are what we need to survive." And for Eren, he kept doing it and kept making himself be successful because all he could do was think back to when the Levi squad died at his hands because of his decisions. So that's has haunted him this whole time. And for Reiner, him taking it's like Eren takes full responsibility of the Levi squad dying, even though that's clearly not the case. And Reiner takes full responsibility for the Paradis operation going down, even though that's clearly not the case. And so instead, both of them keep shoving themselves into battles one after the other to prove themselves and prove their worth, when that wasn't really even something that needed to be called into question. It's the parallels. They're the same, right? But what was with him last night? Why would he tell someone like me if he wants to free Eldians from this war? And then Gabby! Ah! What are you doing? What are you planning? You keep glancing at me. It's annoying. Oh my God! I freaking love her. I love Gabby in this. She's great. Like, and those eyes, those big giant eyes. Oh my gosh, look what you've done to him, Gabby. And they're all talking about how Falco is. And then I like that Reiner's like, "What do you mean? What are you doing?" "I didn't do a thing to him. What are you even talking about?" Yeah, Falco clearly has a thing for Gabby. And then them all walking down the streets. Nice, and everybody looking at them as they go. And then they reach Liberio. Oh, and the people, and then they all go back. And Magath seeing, like, we see Porco with his family, we see Reiner with his, we see Udo and Zofia, and Zeke has brought Udo over there, and then we see Peek and her dad, and Magath watching them all. Grandma and Grandpa. Mm-hmm. I'm not done yet. And Colt and Falco. Oh my gosh. And then, yep, and Gabby's parents. I'm sure you'll become the greatest warrior of all. And I feel like she does in her own way, but she doesn't become a warrior, right? Not in the sense that we're thinking of. Mm-hmm. And then Aunt Karina. Yep. And then Reiner's mom. Mm-hmm. And then, oh my God, there's Eren. There he is. There he is with the leg. Yes. With the crutch. They're not showing us his face for such a reason. They're not showing us his face for such a reason. Look at the word bubble. It's over his face. Look at that. Look at that. Oh my God. Ah, the Isayama, you tease. If you didn't know, I'm sure that I'm sure everybody reading the chapter, the moment they saw Eren with the wristband on the dock scene, I'm sure people were picking out, being like, why is he there? What isn't that weird? And maybe people realized then, maybe they knew, but if you just saw them walking like this, you probably wouldn't know. Okay, they're aliens who have suffered psychological trauma. Oh my God. Okay, when you spend too long digging in the trenches. Oh, Kozlo, knock it off. And then Falco's like, are you okay? Calm down. Oh, your armband is on the wrong arm. It's okay. I'm sure you'll get better. You don't have to fight any longer. Oh my God. And it's just, you wouldn't know it's Eren because the hair is grown out and he has the eye patch. Oh my God. Ah, the boy inside the walls. Ah. Okay. And then Gabby's telling her story. Yep, telling her story to everybody. And then Reiner's just sitting there. Like, just sitting there staring, having to listen to this, being like, this isn't... Because it's like, she's telling this story, like, of how she could have died at any moment, doing all these crazy things. And they're like, oh, good job. And Reiner's like, you shouldn't talk like this. This isn't right. It's like, Gabby will probably inherit the Armor Titan. All that's left is to wipe out the devils that live on that island and will be able to live good lives. And then Reiner, even you were just barely able to escape from there alive. And is this where Reiner has like the traumatic dinner scene? Like the traumatic thing at dinner? Yeah. It's like, you know what happens on this island is a need to know even inside the military. It's hard on Reiner. You spent 5 years infiltrating the island, living among those brutal, cruel devils, right? Even if it wasn't classified, it'd be hard to talk about what happened there. He's like, it's fine. There's some things that I can say. I infiltrated on the island. It was hell. Everyone there was a devil. All of them cruel and barbarous. Like the time during our introduction ceremony, someone started eating a potato, which was Sasha. When our instructor yelled at her, she answered without hesitation. She said she stole it because it looked tasty, which is not barbarous at all, right? But even that villain must have realized she was in a bad spot. So she tried to buy the instructor off with half of the potato. Well, she said half, but she had the gall to only offer him a tiny piece. None of them knew the meaning of the word compromise, you see. And I like that everybody's kind of like, wait, is this really as bad as you're making it out? They were all hopeless. An idiot who went to the bathroom only to say he forgot where he went what he went in there to do. So it's Connie. Okay, back when I was watching the anime, you didn't get to see who was who, so I wanted to see who it was. An irresponsible jerk who only ever thought of himself is John. And a way too responsible jerk who only ever thought of others, which is Marco. Yes. Someone who only ever thought of revenge, which is Eren and those who followed him. And alongside all those different people stood us. Which, you know what's interesting is Sasha. I mean, Sasha, I don't know how this would exactly apply to. I guess that she became selfless and that she no longer just offered the little piece of potato, but was willing to like give her all. I don't know exactly how it works, but then you have Connie, the idiot, who forgot what he was there to do, ends up like gaining a sense of purpose and overcoming that, right? When Falco's with him and the whole deal with his mom. Then you have an irresponsible jerk who only ever thought of himself. Jean ends up overcoming that to think of others. Then you have Marco who only ever thought of others. Well, he dies, so we're just gonna... But then you have Eren who only ever thought of revenge. And we see how that changes. And those who follow him, they end up not following him. So, interesting. The days I spent there were true hell. Different people. They were all bad, right? Yep. And that's the point. They weren't that bad. It's just that's what Reiner was getting at. We are virtuous Eldians. The ones who abandoned us. We have to punish the ones. And there's that little like reference to his dad and everything with the one who abandoned us. There's definitely like when she looks at him. I like that poor Reiner, he's too tall for his own bed. He's like, his feet are hanging off of it. That kind of sucks. It's like we were abandoned. Yep, and we have that parallel right there. I'm glad we just instantly get to that. That's why your father isn't here, because he's a Marleyan. It was against the rules for a Marleyan to have a child with an Eldian. And so this is a secret. We can't be together with him because we're Eldians descended from the devils. So that's the thing. Like, and she's crying, if only you were born to a Marleyan. And what's interesting is that you have Reiner who's mixed with a Marleyan and an Eldian, and then you have Eren who's kind of, well, he's not mixed. I mean, because Grisha isn't royalty, but then you have Zeke who is. So there's a little bit of stuff there. And then Magath telling them all to run. Wow. Marcel Galliard, you pass. Poor baby Reiner. Poor baby Reiner. Bertolt Hoover, you pass. Oh, little tiny Bertolt. Annie Leonhardt, you pass. And then that's when she knocked Reiner back. Yep. Oh. And then poor Reiner. I'll inherit one of the 9 Titans. So he did his best. Oh, Reiner's like, I'm not a good test taker, but I made it. And then we have the warrior program. Yep. And this is a scene. I always remember Annie killing the praying mantis. I always remember that here. They'll be attacking Paradis in a few more years. And then Colt, he's like a lot taller than them. God. There's all of them there. And then Peak. Yeah, Peak's like, what's curious is that she's taller there. They're just little kids. It's so crazy. Only 6 of the 7 will be made warrior candidates all at once. Okay. And Reiner's like, shit, I'm clearly the last one in. Oh my God. And then Porco's like, you're obviously the weakest in the group. Are you strong, smart, a good shot, a good fighter? I like that. Okay, we also had this instant too where we were wondering who was who. Are you strong? And it pans to Marcel. Are you smart? And it goes to Peak. Are you a good shot? And it goes to Bertolt. And are you a good fighter? And it goes to Annie. Interesting. You're none of those things. Which, again, paralleling Eren. Eren was average and so is Reiner. Oh my God. He's like, are you one of the remaining Eldian restorationists who support King Fritz? I'll report it to the captain if you are. And then Bertolt's like, Starry, stand up, Reiner. He's like, I can't wait 13 years. Oh. He's like, I can't say. It sucks that he's like, I can't wait 13 years to end my life in 13 more years. And then Annie's like, I wasn't listening. She was crushing the grasshopper. Yep. Oh, man. I'd be a hero, right? You'd only get to enjoy that life for 13 years. So Bertolt knew, so they all knew that they would only be Titans for 13 years. And that was it. But Reiner's like, I'd be a hero, right? If I can punish the devils on Paradis who strike fear into all of us, I'd be able to save the Eldian people or the whole world and make my parents the proudest of all. And at that moment was when Armin was showing Eren the book. Oh my God! Oh, yes! Oh man, and Reiner and Eren, both of them Both of them. And what's so curious is that line of dialogue where he's like, if I can punish the devils on Paradis who strike fear into all of us, and Eren's like, I want to punish all the people on Earth who strike fear into those on Paradis, I'd be able to save the Eldian people, no, the whole world. He's like, no, I'd be able to save my friends, not the whole world. So it's just a reverse. They're mirrors of each other. It's, oh my God. The mirror. And Bertolt with Reiner and Armin with Eren. The two colossal titans with them. Attack and armor. It's poetry. It's poetry. It's beautiful. I love this double spread. It's amazing. Oh! Volume 2, 24 coming in 2018. Attack on School Titans, the cast. Oh, yes. Oh, I like Armin's like, let's watch 21 Jump Street together. No, let's watch all of Twilight. Not interested. Don't follow me. What's with them? You know you want to. Oh my God. Oh my God. Look at them. What is this? What is this? It's like Mike and the Levi squad with Eren. Oh my God. What's in the packets? Cleaning powder. Oh my God. Why? I love that Levi as the janitor is selling them cleaning powder. That's amazing. Not even once. Oh my God. I love Mike's design in the high school cast. He looks so good. Oh my God. And Petra. I love it. His name's Eren. What? Why? Oh. A boy's righteous heart destroys the island of Paradis, leading Eren and his friends straight into hell. Oh my God. Oh my God. Yep, we're going back into that next episode. Next episode. Oh, you know. Oh my God. Oh my God. I really love this volume. I can't believe we're on season 4 content. It feels weird. Already, all the parallels with Reiner and Eren, all over the place. All over the place. They've always been there. They've always been there throughout all the volumes, and we've talked about it as we've gone but I feel like now ECON was like, okay, we're really going to hammer home how similar Eren and Reiner's stories are. So how similar yet different they are, so that when we have Declaration of War, it can all come full circle. And it's like, but yeah, I don't know. My one question, and obviously I'm going to probably be talking about season 4, part 3 throughout these readings. I've not watched that animation yet. Obviously, I'm going to probably get to volume 32. I think that's where I'm getting to, where season 4, part 2 ends. And that's when I'm going to watch the new animated versions and then go back to the manga. When it's all said and done. But I'm probably going to be asking questions along the way as we get closer to the end to see, I'm just going to put questions out there. I don't want answers, obviously, because they'd be spoilers, but I'm going to put questions and theories out there, and then we'll just touch base on them when we get to that point, right? Because it's been a while since I've watched the anime. I'm sure I've mentioned several of this in the recap, but my biggest question at this point is, Reiner has 2 years left, Zeke has 1, Eren has 4, Armin has 8. Falco now has 13. My biggest question, and Annie has, I think, 2 years left as well. So my biggest question throughout all of this is, and Peak has 2 years left as well too. My biggest question is the story just going to let them die? Or is Eren going to be able to do something with Ymir to free them of the curse of the Titan? That's probably my biggest question going into the finale of the series is Eren going to break the Titan's curse somehow by like either getting the Titans, getting rid of them, or doing something, or are they just gonna die and that's it? I don't know. That's one of the big payoffs I'm waiting to see what happens with, and we won't know till we get to it. So I would like to think Eren as the founding Titan could do all of these things, could transform their biological concepts. Like it's like Shenlong taking the androids and taking the bombs out of their body. He's like, I can't fundamentally biologically change you, but I can take the bombs out of your body. Like it seems like for the Titans, the bomb going off is them coming to terms. So I'm like, can Eren become like the dragon in Dragon Ball Z and just take out the stipulation that they die after so many years? Can that be a thing? I don't know. That's my biggest question from this volume. Is this volume sets clear that there is a timer on the time running out with these characters, and I hate that because I don't want Reiner and Annie and Pete to die in 2 years. I don't like that. I don't want Eren to die in 4 years. I don't want Armin to die in 8 years. I don't want any of that. So going forward with volume 24, my questions from this volume for the finale of Attack on Titan is going to be what's going to happen with the timer set on all of them that are the Titan warriors. What's going to happen with that? And then what's the deal with the Ackermans being created out of Titan science? I want to know this. I'm not a science major. Give me answers, Isayama. But I'm really curious to know. So I hope y'all enjoyed this reaction and discussion. I'm so hyped for volume 24. I've got to be out of town this next weekend, so I'm probably going to go ahead and read volume 24 very soon, but I'm going to catch up on comments. I have a few more that I had yet to get to before I decided to read this volume. So I'm going to get to those and then come back if there's anything worth talking about, and we'll do that then. So in the meantime, I hope you all have a wonderful week. Please stay safe, take care, and yes, I'll be back very soon with volume 24 of Attack on Titan. Bye!